Hello everyone, I am Marco Fazio, Professor of Neuromarketing Techniques at the University of Calabria, and today I am presenting part of my study entitled Gender Differences in Visual Attention to Tourism Advertising, an eye-tracking study. Advertising is a long-term investment that moves consumers through various steps to purchase. Marketing researchers have shown great interest in evaluating advertising effects. Two research streams exist: behavioral aspects, focus on visitation numbers and travel expenditure, and cognitive aspects, awareness, inquiries, attitudes. Destination management organizations increasingly invest in advertising and publicity. Despite significant investment, there's a gap in understanding how cultural and gender differences influence advertisement effectiveness. This research aims to explore the impact of tourism advertising on consumers through an analysis conducted using advanced neuromarketing techniques, in particular eye tracking, one of the most promising technologies for understanding consumer behavior. The research presented aims to analyze the influence of cultural factors and gender differences on the perception of tourism advertising, as well as to evaluate the effectiveness of tourism advertising in terms of the visual attention of the target audience, examining the Open to Meraviglia campaign promoted by the Italian Ministry of Tourism. Through a survey conducted using eye-tracking technologies, an analysis was carried out on how elements such as cultural familiarity, expectations and stereotypes, and gender differences influence the way tourism advertising is viewed. 60 people, 50% male and 50% female, of Italian and US nationality were involved in the survey. The reference sample observed 3 images related to the Open to Meraviglia advertising campaign. The qualitative analysis of the heat maps was conducted on 5 areas of interest. 1. Face of the influencer. 2. Influencer's body with characterization of clothing and accessories. 3. Background, artwork in the image. 4. Written Italy, Open to Meraviglia. 5. Footer with institutional references and Italian tricolor. The reference sample observed 3 images related to the Open to Meraviglia advertising campaign. In the first graphic stimulus, they were hoard. US citizens were not attracted to the face of the Venus influencer. Instead, they were more attracted by her clothing and accessories. Italians were also attracted to her clothing and accessories, but they were also attracted to her face. Italian women seemed to be attracted by both the face of the Venus influencer and the scenery of the image. The other elements do not arouse interest. On the contrary, US women focused mainly on the body, clothing and accessories of the Venus influencer and slightly on the scenery. The face of the Venus was completely ignored by US women. In the Rome stimulus, Italian participants tended to focus more on the Venus influencer's face and body, showing familiarity and interest in the symbolic figure. In contrast, US participants directed their attention primarily to the architectural background, the Colosseum, the campaign slogan, and institutional elements, with limited engagement with the face. Gender differences were also evident. Italian men and women displayed stronger attention to the Venus, whereas US viewers, particularly women, showed minimal focus on her, reinforcing the role of cultural familiarity in shaping visual attention. In the latest graphic stimulus, Polignano Amare, both Italians and US participants observed the scenery and setting, though their focus diverged on the influencer. Italians, especially women and men alike, devoted greater attention to the Venus's face, while US participants concentrated more on clothing and accessories. The shared attraction to the coastal background suggests the effectiveness of the destination element, but differences in attention to the testimonial again highlight the impact of cultural recognition and gender-related attentional patterns. This research contributes to the literature by offering a detailed understanding of how cultural and gender factors affect viewer engagement and overall effectiveness of tourism advertising campaigns. The variations in the observation of Open to Meraviglia campaign images between Italians and Americans may depend on a complex combination of cultural, gender, and individual factors. This study confirms this and emphasizes how important it is to consider these variables to fully understand the reasons behind these differences. And, above all, how crucial it is to take these differences into account when designing tourism advertising campaigns to maximize their effectiveness and appeal to different audience segments. Thank you.